Will Simpson here, and welcome to Exploring Photography. I did a photo shoot the other day, and I used a couple of things that I could find around the house. And I thought it would be really good to share with you guys a quick video showing you how easy it is to use things around the house to create really creative photos that'll really stand out. Give your photos that sharp edge, that little extra zing that makes them stand out, that makes people say, wow, that's a great photo. Now, because I want to make this a really quick video, that way you can take these items and get right into taking photos, let's dive right into the first one, and that is using a CD. Now, the CD itself, this is Peter White Christmas. The CD itself doesn't actually have anything to do with it because you're not going to be listening to it, obviously. So what you do is you take the CD. Now, the ones that have the reflective ability, the rainbow ability on it are going to work better. So make sure you get one that has a higher reflection. Even ones with color on them work really well. So all you do is you take a flashlight of any kind, even your phone flashlight will do, and you just shine it onto the CD and it reflects up onto the model. Now, I did notice that when I used too much extra light, you kind of didn't see this. Make sure your lighting is good so you can actually see the rainbow, but you can create some really cool effects. Now, you might have to have your model hold this and then you take the picture. So your model is going to be holding it just like this and then shining it onto them. You can see it on my face here, just like that. But your model's gonna be holding it and then taking the picture. So, or maybe have a second person helping you out. But it's super quick, makes really good photos. All right, the next one is using the flashlight or your flashlight on your phone. This one's really cool, creates an amazing effect, gives you that really cool light flare. And just as a note, your lens, the quality of your lens will affect the way it comes out. So if I take this flashlight and put it on, you see you get a little light flare just like that. And that's all I did on the photo. I simply took this, I held up the camera, and I just shined it into the lens until I got that effect that I liked and then took the picture. Very easy, very doable, and creates such a cool effect. It's one of my favorite photos that I took that day. The next one is super simple, and you've probably heard it time and time again, and it's simply using things in the outside or around you to create a foreground element. Simple things like leaves. Let's say you're taking a picture of a nice fall tree in the background. The fall colors are so nice right now, by the way. But let's say you're taking a picture and your model is standing in front of it. So you simply take some leaves from that tree and hold it in front of the lens to create kind of a blurry foreground. It works really good when you use a foreground element that matches with the background element. It ties the photo together and really complements it, makes it a really, really aesthetic looking photo. But this can be used anytime for portraiture, for landscapes. You simply pull out some grass or get a tree or get some leaves on the ground or pretty much anything, even plastic. It'll work to create a foreground element. And that one's super simple and works great. It'll really class up your photos. The next one is kind of an interesting one, and it's using chapstick. Chapstick or even Vaseline works. And it's simply putting the chapstick or Vaseline around the edge of the lens. Now, I did notice on this one, when I originally used a 50mm on it, the lens was too small. So when I put the chapstick around the edge, it made the whole image look kind of hazy, kind of blurry, and that's not what I wanted. I wanted to blur out the edges. So what I did was I had to use a bigger lens, and a zoom lens worked better for this, where you could put the chapstick around the edge and then you could zoom in through it, which kind of blurred out the edges, but gave you a really clear shot of your subject. So that's just one note. The other thing is, if you're gonna do this, just know that this isn't necessarily the best thing to do for your lens. Like, make sure you clean it, make sure you handle your lenses appropriately. If you damage your lens because you put chapstick on it, that's your bad. But it should be fine. My lenses are totally fine, but just be aware if you're gonna do this technique. But it does create some really cool effects. And finally, the last one, which I find really fun, is take some saran wrap and some Sharpies. What you do is you take a piece of saran wrap, you take the Sharpies and you color onto it, and then you create kind of a square thing like this. Then you rip in the middle of the saran wrap, just like that. That way you get a shot through, and you put it on top of the lens, and that creates a really cool effect. Gives you some color from top to bottom. Using blue and orange, you get some really nice complementary colors. But as an additional point, if you were to take this, put it on the lens, and then take a light and shine it into the lens, you get a cool kind of reflecting light look, so it looks like you're almost looking through broken glass or something of the sort. So it's a really cool effect. You can use a flashlight. I use the little aperture light, which I linked in the description below. They're pretty cool. They're 45 bucks. They can mount on the hot shoe. Awesome. Not sponsored, just a cool light. Anyways, those are the 5 tips for taking really creative, cool photos with items that you can use from around the house. If this was helpful, give it a like. Let me know if you have a special little tip or trick that you use to create cool photos. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I do videos like this every Monday at 7 p.m. And I hope these tips and tricks help you take your best photo yet, because in the end, we're all trying to master the photo. I'll see you guys next week.